Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void. Today, it's going to be a match between DNS and Serral from the EU bracket for DreamHack Fall. Serral asks, spikes? I don't know why, but maybe we'll find out. Bottom left on Ice and Chrome, it is the Red Protoss player from France. It is DNS. And in the top right, it is the Blue Zerg player from Finland, Serral. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. The reason I chose this is because it's the longest replay that I have from the EU bracket for DreamHack Fall. It's, oh, lag spikes. Serral was getting some lag spikes and DNS was not. Yeah, that's the problem with all the StarCraft 2 tournaments ever since the COVID came about, was that people are playing from home. I don't even know how they choose what server they're on. I wonder if they do like a rock, paper, scissors thing or something. Anyway, look at this block, man. DNS sent a probe out early, going for the block. Now, I don't understand why this is the longest replay that I have in that replay pack. DNS is a great Protoss player for sure, but like he's never come close to winning BlizzCon, which is what Serral has done. So, I'm very curious as to why this is what it is. Dude, this block is nuts. I mean, sure, this is coming up now from Serral. He's not too put out, but this Serral, like, he's so annoyed by this. He's not even going to expand here. I think that was just to keep the probe up in this area. Like, Serral is going to not just take this space for some reason. DNS might have been fooled a little bit, but I think we're okay. All I can imagine is this turns into some kind of a crazy giant Skytoss army that DNS is very careful with and doesn't lose anything from, and Serral whittles it down, and there's a crazy conclusion. So join me on this journey as we try to figure out why on earth this game is forever long. Hit that like button if you're excited for a big long PvZ featuring Serral and DNS, as I believe they would say in France. And the Lings are out early because he went for a pool. So let's see what these guys can do. I imagine something. Why is there a Zealot first, DNS? What? I mean, I guess, well, he couldn't make an Adept because the Cybercore wasn't done yet. The Lings aren't even going to try to take down this pylon. I think they probably could with Incredible Micro, which I believe that's something that Serral has access to, is Incredible Micro. Stargate coming up from DNS. There is a Ling inside the base. At least getting a scout off as to everything that's happening here. Reminds me of a Jadong Ling from my Brood War casts. But yeah, so Serral's doing this. Probably wants to take a third at some point here. I mean, sometime in the next 40 seconds would be nice. But no? Oh, wait. Maybe we're getting up to 300 minerals here. The Lings don't have speed yet, but they almost do. Oh, this nice hide. Look at this hide. But no, DNS! DNS shuts it down. Oh, turns into an extractor. Gosu move out of Serral there. But DNS with the denial on this base. Dude, Serral is kind of all over the place right here. He's not in a good position, I don't think. Oh, that Adept sitting. Oh, that's so good. Oh, snuck it in. Okay, this has been a really action-packed, very, very close early game considering how long this game is. I'm already liking it. I'm already enjoying it here. There's an Oracle moving out. This Oracle's name is Holy Overlord. Praise be to the Holy Overlord, the one true space god in the galaxy overfilling with them. By his will he shall be a green glowing laser orb. The Holy Overlord works in mysterious ways. That was the first Oracle name put on my new channel, by the way. Put on the new StarCraft 2 channel. Go figure. I like it. So Oracle checking to see his stuff happening here. A couple drones go down. Did both the Adepts die there? They certainly did both die. And Oracle really shouldn't get too much done. I mean, not with a Queen and a Spore here. Maybe. Ooh, yeah. Nope. Tried to throw down a Stasis Ward. No. Did not have enough time before it died, so canceled that. And just got out of there. All right, so Serral's third base is late. He doesn't have a third base at 4.5 minutes. He does have a bunch of speedlings, though, but this is... Oh, get back. Get back. There's 3 Adepts here. DNS making a Phoenix. He's got 2 Oracles out, which is a little bit scarier. Nothing that Serral has not seen before, though. Oh, those are some free drones, though. All right. Dude, DNS making it happen a little bit here. Just a tiny, tiny bit careless out of Serral in some ways. Oh, Queen dies. Drones getting massacred. This is incredible. Dude, 9 drones? We're looking at a total of 11. Yep, 11 drones killed in the first 5 minutes. Is pretty fantastic for DNS here. I don't think you could ask for more against Serral. Third base coming up for DNS. There's not enough lings to shut this down. Definitely not. Look at him keeping the shade here and actually poking around with his units. That's not something you see every day. Usually you scout with the shade, but the adept actually has more vision than the shade does. So scouting with the adept makes more sense. It's just slower and can be picked off and surrounded and actually take damage, unlike the adept shade, which is invincible and faster, but has the lower field of vision, which I guess is your trade-off there, right? Right you are. Still just sharking around with these oracles, but it's revelation time. That time of game where revelation gets tossed out. Forged Twilight Council on the way from DNS. Immortal production has begun from DNS. What's he doing? Hallucinated Phoenix moving out for scouting. Sentry Immortal just seems a little bit old-fashioned here in the first 6 minutes of this match. Lair going to finish up for Serral, getting a 4th base at 6.5 minutes, which again is late. Like traditionally in a normal game where it's macro like this, you would want that around 5 minutes, but 6.5 is the best he can do at the moment, considering how late his 3rd was. That really slowed him down. And losing all those drones totally slowed him down too. Yeah, it's a macro game, but again, why is it so long? Well, I was thinking Skytoss, but not now. This is definitely gateways, Templar Archives coming in. Pretty standard not Skytoss army being prepped here by DNS. Serral's got roaches. He's probably turned them into Ravagers here too. Infestation Pit pretty early. That might be Swarm Host. Man, that Infestation Pit is real fast. Or he could be going for Quick Hive. We'll have to watch that production tab and figure out what he is planning. Overlord just milling around without speed. I mean, speed's on the way, but come on. Those Overlords are fresh pickings for an actual Phoenix, which is what that Phoenix is. Additional gateways coming in, and yeah, I mean, this is going to be Ground Army. This is going to be Immortals, Sentries, Adepts. Ravagers are pretty much going to be great against all of this, especially if they try to force field themselves into a circle. That's what Ravagers were created for. If you guys don't remember the time before Ravagers, dude, Sentry Immortal was the thing. Why did he? I think he was warping in some Zealots and canceled it, and the Zealots died. But that was so hard to stop as Zerg. The force fields kept the Lings away. The Roaches couldn't get in close enough to really hit the Immortals, and the Immortals were safe just bombarding from inside the safety of the circle of force fields. It was so frustrating. And then Ravagers came about, and everyone was like, oh, we're good. It's not a thing anymore. So that's why we have Zealots and Archons, and the force fields are used more traditionally, which again, the Ravagers can kill those force fields. Man, this is a Rainer move right here. Serral getting on top of this 4th base and forcing a cancel. He just... Zerg players, you just keep Lings in the general vicinity of the 4th base of your opponent. Poke in every once in a while, and when it's just getting started, run those Lings in and cancel it. Kill it, or force a cancel. It's got to be a good feeling. And just so frustrating for the Zerg, because often, or for the Protoss, because often they have an army pretty much in this general area. They're trying to straddle 2 bases, no matter what the map is, right? It always makes me laugh. Okay, so that's a free Zealot. The Oracles kill a couple Lings for it, so maybe not entirely free. Storm researching Lurker Den on the way, and a Hive. Okay, so we're lurkering, which the Phoenix saw. Yeah, the Phoenix know it's lurkers. So at this point, your Immortal production needs to ramp up. You definitely want Storm. Who do we see do this recently? I feel like there's someone we saw go lurker against Protoss recently, and it went pretty well for them. Cannot remember. 5th base coming up from Serral at the 12 o'clock base, and so far I think DNS is in a pretty solid position. It's got High Templar, Archons, Zealots, Immortals. All this stuff is pretty good against a Roach Ravager style army, even if there are lurkers in the mix. I mean, the ironic thing is that what takes the most damage from lurkers in this composition are the Immortals, which crush lurkers in numbers. So it's a weird relationship that lurkers and Immortals have. We'll see if that comes into play here or not. A couple lurkers coming in. And there we go. I was going to say, there's no way there's a crazy long ZVP without carriers. I just don't see it. Double Stargate, carrier, Overseer, scouts, all of this. And DNS is just like, well, here's my ground army. I'm going to buy some time to get carriers out by killing creep tumors and forcing Serral to respond and warping in 1,000,000 zealots. That warp prism is in range of a spore. Get out of there. Oh, it's alive. That's massive. Okay, so I feel like drones are dying, but no real drones are dying here. That was an amazingly good drone pull. And like the zealots get some damage done here, but it's nothing incredible. Meanwhile, the very small fighting force here from Serral, of his maxed out army, by the way, is here. Some of them are here. Where the heck is the rest of this army, and why is it not bigger than this? Oh, okay. We've got some roaches down here. Oh, he's just eating that storm. Serral's playing this a little lackadaisically. He's not, like, you can't entirely storm dodge. But he didn't even try to storm dodge. Mothership on the way, +1 air weapons coming in. These roaches and ravagers and lurkers know that their time is almost over. Like, they have to recognize that and try to get some damage done before the carriers come out, because the carriers are out, like, no. Roaches and ravagers, very little use for them. Lurkers, maybe, like, if you're trying to keep the Protoss ground units away from your army, you can do that with lurkers pretty effectively. You can zone them out. But also they're extremely, extremely vulnerable. Fare thee well, Holy Overlord, the Oracle. I see you warping in up here, Zealots. Where are you going? And, well, some of you are going to attack into these 3 spines. No? Alright, cool. Yeah, this very slow lurker push from Serral. God, the storm, though. The storm, though. Zealots almost got a queen kill, but transfuse is good, so that didn't happen. Dude, those High Templar dying would be massive, but also getting stormed in the face would be massive for DNS. This Overseer is just like, I see you're making carriers. So you can see the outline of a carrier warping in on those Stargates. That is one of the things, like one of the few things in StarCraft where you can tell what's building from a building before it's done is that right there, Stargates, man. Is there anything else I'm realizing? Nope, Zerg eggs are indistinguishable from each other. Barracks you can't tell, factories you can't tell. It's just that, man. That's the tell. For some reason, Protoss has that disadvantage. Zealots kind of everywhere doing everything. DNS is taking a base at the 6 o'clock position, but I mean, Serral's answer to this is a swarm host, Hydralisks. Is he accidentally making a swarm host? I do that sometimes. Looks like an accidental swarm host that he's not canceling. Serral expanding again. He's like, look, the way this works is I need 1,000,000 bases. I'm not going to be able to trade out extremely cost efficiently versus this. So let's make 1,000,000 bases. Let's spread out DNS's attacks. So if he kills my right side base, my left side has a base I can run to. And it, again, slow army, strong army. But so what that means is you want to have it running around the map as much as possible. You don't want it to just march right up your front door and kill all your stuff. Dark Shrine coming in, +2 air weapons too. And see, Serral attacking over this way. Outranging cannons with his brand new upgraded lurkers with incredible amounts of range. Yeah, these Hydras though, goodbye entire army. I mean, they're a little bit fast. They can run to some, oh gosh. When's the last time you saw a stasis lurker? I bet it's been a while, huh? Oh, and then a recall. Yep, that is the one thing that Protoss has with their giant, slow Skytoss army is that they have recalls available from time to time. Their ability to zip across the map well, almost instantaneously from time to time. But here we have 15 Corruptors on the way. Vipers coming in here too. Serral knows what's what. He's not beating this with a ground army. You need Corruptors. You need Vipers. You could probably use some Neural Parasite on Infestors at some point. Oh, there you go. Pathogen Glands coming in. Yeah, so for lower level Zerg players, Skytoss is hard to deal with because you gotta be good with all these spellcasters, and Corruptors can be tricky to micro against this. You don't want to just fly them right over the Archons because the Archons will murder them. Kind of got to dance and weave and split while you're maybe throwing down fungals or abducts or neuroparasites or... It's a mess is what it is. Lower level players hate this stuff, but the higher level players are really good at handling it. Ooh, those DTs just got obliterated before they did anything down this way. That's what they were trying to do. Greater Spire coming in. DT Blink on the way. One of my favorite upgrades. I wish it got used more often. I really do. DT Blink is a fun upgrade. Just gives that DTs that blink. I don't know what else. I mean, if you've never seen it before, welcome to StarCraft. I hope you're having a good time. Subscribe to the channel because I cast Brood War, or StarCraft rather. I said Brood War a bunch of times on the other channel, but StarCraft 2 here on Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So, I mean, 5 times a week of StarCraft 2 is not bad. I'm going to tell you right now, it is not bad. And DNS taking a 6th base up here at about the 10 o'clock position. So this is what I expected on this map, and why it was so long, was the Skytoss and a million bases you can take, and that's why Ice and Chrome was really good for macro games. And that's why I'm sad it's out of the map pool currently, because one of my favorite maps, man, it's just gone. It's just given us so many amazing macro games, especially Zerg versus Protoss. Dude, okay, that High Templar wandered over here to kill some stuff. Not exactly what you want to see from your High Templar, but that's cool. See Carrier down. Abduct. This is the play. You can do this. You can do other stuff too, but abducting into a Corruptor Ball is definitely a way to win trades and over time win a game like this. It is very hard, even for the best Zerg players, as Cyril is, to just A-move into this and kill it. Or even not A-move into it. Have multiple control groups and all the spells perfectly placed. You're still not going to win. All your Corruptors will die because of the Archons, and you just have to pick at it. You got to pick at it piece by piece. There's a book that our teacher read to us in 6th grade called Maniac McGee. And it's a really good book. I don't know if it still holds up. I haven't read it since I was, 10. But basically, there's a kid that comes into a town, and a lot of stuff happens. There's a lot of lessons about racial equality, and it's got some good messages, and it's really fun to read. But this kid, Maniac McGee, can do anything. He hits home runs. He's the fastest kid, even when he's wearing terrible shoes. He's this mystical, magical kid, and there's this knot. There's this giant, enormous knot that's been at a pizzeria forever and ever. And whoever untangles the knot gets a lifetime supply of pizza. And people have been trying for years, and nobody's ever been able to do it. And spoiler alert, Maniac McGee puts his mind to it, and he decides he's going to do it. So he spends 24 hours, just straight 24 hours, picking at this knot and examining this knot and figuring it out. And he sleeps at the pizzeria when he needs to sleep. And then he does it, and he wins the lifetime supply of pizza. It's a good moment. Maniac McGee. I can recommend it, I think. I think it holds up, from what I remember. That could be entirely wrong. Anyway, DNS is... Alright, enough of this. Enough of you picking off my carriers. Let's go. I'm really surprised the mothership hasn't been picked off yet. That's usually the first target, is motherships for the abduct, but not today for some reason. Also, are 2 bases going to simultaneously fall here for Serral on opposite sides of the map? That is not the plan. That is not how this is supposed to work, Serral. Oh, DNS is like, yeah, I know what you like to do. I know you like to expand opposite directions on this map. I'm going to kill 2 of them at the same time. I mean, technically... Dude, this guy's still doing stuff. Technically, this base is not dead, and it won't because the lurker's defending it. And this one's not dead either, and it will be saved by, 2 Hydralisks. But still, look at Serral replacing the hatch when there is a Skytoss army in spitting distance. Yeah, this is what we're turning into. No, yeah, that's what's funny. Every time there is a European premier bracket for something like DreamHack, DNS always has 2 or 3 of the longest matches in the entire replay pack. And I think it's because he likes doing this. And it's really effective. And it's hard to beat a Protoss player quickly who's doing this. And as one of Railgun's recent videos talks about, even Like 90 APM terrible micro players can do this on ladder and get GM. Like, this is not particularly hard to pull off, and you will crush diamond level Zergs and even masters level Zergs with it because it's hard to defeat. The pros don't seem to struggle with it. Like, I haven't watched this. I don't know who wins this match. Obviously, DNS does not make it like to the quarterfinals of the DreamHack Fall European bracket. But he could win this game. He could take one game off of Serral and still not move on. Nice feedbacks on those infestors. And like, that's the thing. Lower level Skytoss players won't even bother with the High Templar or the Archons, and they'll still win. But once you add in the High Templar and once you add in the Archons, suddenly that's when it gets really hard to break. DNS decides he's had enough. He's going to fall back to his newest expansion. And that's what's crazy, is this map has so many bases, and we're going to see everyone taken at some point. This is the last one. That's the last base to be taken. I love that DNS is active. Like, I'm just telling you right now, I love that DNS is active. He's got an income advantage right now, which is just mind-boggling that he's pulling this off. But yeah, ask me to do this. I won't remember, but ask me to put a link in the description of this video to Railgun's video about how there's like a 90 APM Protoss who's reached GM status on the EU, and this is all he does. And he's got an 80% win rate versus Zerg. And his macro is pretty terrible. His micro is bad. He makes bad decisions. He doesn't really split his units against things like parasitic bombs or anything. And it's hard to take down. Like, this is a good strategy. If DNS can take Serral to a 20-minute game, like, I don't know why a lower level, less skilled Protoss player wouldn't be able to, you know, get to GM, especially on the NA ladder if you're watching this. But that's the thing. You can't really complain about it as balance because... Not Lurker's just toast. Because obviously, Serral, Raynor, Dark, Rogue, they're going to handle this. And yes, from time to time, I will cast Skytoss army victories against Zerg. And if it never won, we'd never see it. Right? If there was a 0% win rate for these guys when they go Skytoss versus Zerg, they just wouldn't do it. So they do it. And they get wins sometimes. It's just not enough to consistently win a lot. Like I said, I'd be surprised if Serral doesn't win this game, but it's entirely possible that he doesn't. Man, Broodlords. Yeah, I guess when your opponent's army has these ground units down here, High Templar, I think that's it. Are there any Archons? 5 High Templar. Cool. Broodlords can be pretty good. Can be used to either wipe out the High Templar from a distance or set siege to a base that you want to kill. But who did it... I cast another really great game on this map. Neeb versus Scarlet, I want to say it was. That was very much this. Ooh, catching... That is a trick about the Void Rays, is that they're a lot faster than the carriers or the mothership. And if you send this army over here, the Void Rays get there first by a wide margin, and that leaves them pretty vulnerable to getting sniped. And that's what happened. Like, 2 Void Rays died there because they were fast. That's the curse of being fast, I guess. This space is extremely vulnerable for the next minute and a half. And before that, it's easily killed. And yeah, Serral sniffed it out. Said, what are you doing in my neighborhood? I'm gonna murder all of your things, and that's a canceled base. Serral retaking this one that has been killed before. Remember that? Remember that like 3 minutes ago? Oh, he sent probes over. It was not safe yet. But I mean, at some point, DNS is like, I got 7,000 minerals and 6,000 gas. I can afford to sacrifice some workers here. We'll call it good. Melee attack level 3 coming in. Serral just happily sitting on 55 workers. Like, DNS has the income advantage, but Serral's like, I'm not in a hurry. Like, I'm not losing army here. My army is faster than yours, so it doesn't have to engage, and as such, I don't have to get caught in a bad position and lose everything. I guess the Broodlords are slow. Like, if they get caught out, they're all dead. But everything else here, the Corruptors, the Overseers, the Infestors to some extent, the Vipers are pretty zippy too. This DT trying to take down... I don't even know, man. Like, a Baneling nest? Sure. Yeah, here we go. See? New source of income. Relatively new source of income. Broodlords firing on it. I don't use this zoom a lot, but when Broodlords are on the field, it makes more sense because, by golly, they're hard to keep on the same screen as their Broodlings, usually. Does he know? Ooh, I bet he thought he got that Nexus and he didn't. They were like, but no, the Skytoss army's coming up the left side. Ah, he knew there were Hydras coming in to finish it off. Okay, so recall. And enough damage. No, no. Look how careful Serral is being. He's like, I don't even want to risk it. I maybe could have sat here and tried to kill that Nexus. And I might have killed it, but I for sure would have lost every one of these units. So let's just play it safe. DNS taking this left again, that 10 o'clock base. And this 4 o'clock base are the important ones right now. Like, in general, I would say that the Zerg player needs to have at least a 1 base advantage mined out against the Protoss to win. But at the same time, I think Serral is capable of getting good enough trades that he doesn't necessarily need that. He can still win the game even if he's on even bases against the Protoss, which he is right now. It's officially even. It's 8 bases to... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, is it 9? 6, 7. Yeah, it's 8 to 9. Okay. Nexus does go down. Way to take that down. Broodlings nailed it. High Templar, or rather Dark Templar, just having a good time. Having a wonderful time. Serral gets that hatch killed and replants it again with the Skytoss army in the neighborhood. Like, if you're a drone morphing a Nexus, and like you can tell that your previous Wharton Nexus warping in a hatchery, morphing in a hatchery, and you can tell there was a hatchery killed there just recently. That's not a good feeling, right? Probably not. Yeah, man, we're 27 minutes into this thing. We are not close to finishing it. That's what I like, though. These ultra-long macro games are one of my favorite things about StarCraft. I just remember back when I was watching a lot of StarCraft on YouTube, when it was Husky and HD and Sci StarCraft, and they'd toss up a 40-minute game, and I knew we'd be in for a treat. It was always very good. Of course, the game started slower back then. Nice abduct. Right? Because he didn't start with the 12 workers. There's the mothership down. Excuse me, I believe I just burped into the microphone. How uncouth of me. It's the first mothership killed today at 28 minutes. That is maybe the most surprising thing about this game, is that one mothership has died.
I am but a phantom.
But yeah, like, do you remember the old days when games started more slowly and, like, players would be maxed out around, 17 or 18 minutes instead of the 9 to 12 minutes they are now? It was a slower game. So that's dead, which is why Serral's getting a replacement Greater Spire now. Maybe don't let the Broodlings kill you, though. Shadow Stride away. Very nice. Oh my gosh, they got it. Oh, does he have to start over? Tell me he has a backup Spire. No, he doesn't. Maybe he... Oh, well. It's on its way. Okay, so he did start a backup Spire as soon as these ones were going down, because he knew. He saw the writing on the wall. All right, we got to count this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for DNS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it is 8 and 8. I keep thinking this is a base, but it's just a lot of spores and spines. So it is 8 to 8. So, I mean, traditionally, this doesn't favor Serral at all. But again, I think he's capable of making really good trades and winning it even with an economic equality, which is, again, not what you want as a Zerg player. I can't believe he keeps leaving these bases. The probes are like, cool, I guess. Like, you obviously could have destroyed this, but... He sends 2 lings down to handle it. Oh my gosh, they're gonna get it. You guys, you got warped in for a purpose, I think. Oh boy. Alright, so the lurker's gonna kill it. That's the ling came in to scout and see if the Nexus was still here, and it was. So now this lurker gets to murder it as part of. Wait, hold on. It's attacking. What? It's attacking an assimilator. I do love that Serral has burrow, by the way. Like, I didn't mention that previously, but why are. Yeah, this base is toast. Yeah, pretty much any base. Even with some adequate defense is going to die. I like that Serral's using Broodlords to snipe these Nexuses. Even if he doesn't quite finish them off. Okay, finally. Nexus down. Good grief. But not substantial hits. That's the 8th base for DNS. That's the 8th base for Serral. Both players are floating about 10,000 minerals right now, which is just dumb. That is a dumb form of StarCraft, in my opinion. There's her second mothership dead for the day. Tosses down a time warp. Oh, okay. I was going to say it survived, but no. Second abduct. No chill. Absolutely no chill at all. Replacement mothership coming in. DNS. He feels like they're important. Serral taking these 2 bases this time. All right. All right. This is turning interesting. Serral's like, well, if I can have the economic advantage, I'll take it. Nexus down, but this is, I mean, there's 150 minerals on this Nexus. It doesn't really matter. Oh, 2 free carriers, though, is real bad. Okay, and that Nexus is down. Okay, so Serral's starting to roll here a bit. Like, he is starting to take additional bases, although this one's in a lot of trouble. He's starting to kill Nexuses, starting to pick off carriers pretty easily. Like, DNS has lost 43,000 resources, and Serral's lost 35. That's the kind of thing you expect to see if Serral is making good trades, which he has been. This Void Ray has 8 kills and is very fast, but stopped to fight and died. Yeah, so DNS's problem is he's on 1 mining base, which is bad. I guess technically it's 2 mining bases. Dude, did he really... This lurker, though. You don't have detection? Where's your observer? Apparently he has an observer in this army, and he decided to leave this lurker at home and to kill more probes that come over this way to try to expand to an 8th base, which seems like it seems not great. All right, well, I mean, DNS, his income isn't good, but he's got a huge bank, so he can draw this out by replacing his carriers, forcing Serral to find good angles to kill them again. Serral taking his 8th base. It pops quite nicely. And I kind of like this from Serral. Like, he's just, he's using small Hydra lurker groups to just siege down bases. He's using his Brood Lords to take down bases too, and then the Corruptor Infestor Ball with Vipers is to pick off carriers and motherships as the need may arise. But yeah, I mean, these are... Yeah, 3 attack lurkers with 3 armor. Again, just bringing the Nexus down very low. All these spores, like, they don't do a ton of damage, but they do enough damage versus interceptors. You're going to kill interceptors. 91 of them have gone down today. This lurker is going to get the Nexus, and it does. That one gets killed for its crimes. This one is allowed to stay alive and set up in range of cannons. There we go. Look at how far those spines go. Those spines are far spines. Seeing again, Lurker Hydra army just slowly getting trades done. Just killing cannons. Forcing DNS to replace things, although really no reason to replace defense over here, although there are a couple Stargates and a couple Warp Gates, and maybe you want to keep those around as long as you can. But do you want to invest replacement static defense for it? Yeah, Serral is clamping down on this right now. Probes are getting massacred, bases are getting canceled before they even really begin. And DNS is like, alright, we've had enough of this. We're going to attack into your Spore Crawler Forest. We're doing exactly what you want us to do right now. And it's going to be abject chaos, but we're going to try to kill as many of these spores as we can. The Void Rays are helping. There's pre-splits happening here against the Parasitic Bomb and the Fungal Abductorama on the Mothership again. Warping in some Stalkers is DNS. This right side base getting wrecked. Yeah, man, I don't think anybody has any income. Nobody's really been able to hold on to these 8th bases today. Both 8th bases are out. Serral could try to expand here, but there is an army, again, in the area. So it might be dangerous. War Prism gets picked off there. Income is just not good for anybody at the moment. DNS has no mineral income. And this is where having carriers starts becoming a problem. Because interceptors cost minerals. And if you're out of minerals, your carriers, once they've lost their interceptors, which they're going to do, become dead weight. They become entirely useless. I don't think there's another unit in all of StarCraft. Well, Reavers, I guess. That's StarCraft Brood War. But in StarCraft 2, that's reliant on mineral income to attack. Right? So it's dicey, man. The longer the game goes on, DNS almost needs to force something. I like that Serral's just kind of squeezing into the territory here. Just oh, the volleys. The volleying down. 47 Corruptors. You ever wondered how much it takes to one volley a carrier? 47 Corruptors. And 16 workers. Dude, DNS has, I think, accidentally gone Fist of Neeb here. He's got 200 supply of Skytoss and 0 workers. 200 army supply. I mean, Serral's at 184, so it's not like he's at a disadvantage here really at all. I love that this Ursadon is still alive. Hey, buddy. Does that creep feel good? Like, it feels good to walk, or feels good to walk on creep? Or is it just gross? Might entirely just be disgusting. DNS making another mothership. He's sitting on 3,000 minerals and 2,900 gas. I've sent some abducts. Ugh. And trying to get the War Prism, but the Storm just backing away. Backing away with those Corruptors. Blink finishes at 38 minutes because why not? Yeah, Serral has this 8th base. He's going to have income here, and DNS is going to have 0. So at this point, DNS is a wounded shark. He's not an apex predator. But Serral still doesn't want to directly engage with him because the shark can still win that fight. Nice feedbacks. Great abduct there. Sure, the Void Rays just die. They're the Corruptor's mortal enemies, are Void Rays. And Serral taking the 9th. Now this is a 9th base at that 4 o'clock position. Again, Broodling strikes. Mothership down. It's just they're expensive. And I don't know what utility they provide. Like, I really don't understand why Protoss players continually make them when... Like, Time Warp is not good. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get with a... Like, sure, it's Cloak, but... Do you see how many Overseers there are? Once again, holding on to these bases, this 10 o'clock... and this 4 o'clock are approximately impossible. You can't hold on to them for any length of time. Oh, caught some fungals on those High Templar and tried to finish them off. Could not see if they actually died or not. And this is where the Broodlords might start dying, although they are running Parasitic Bomb on everything. And I think Cyril's trying to close in for the kill here. The Parasitic Bomb on the Void Rays is so bad for the Void Rays. A couple of them die. 3 of them are extremely injured. And look, Serral smells it. He smells it in the air. This is a wounded, bleeding, dying shark, and he's just going to stand in here and handle it. That's it. Fungal's getting tossed down. Corruptor's brutally destroying every one of these carriers. DNS's Fist of Neeba is gone, and Serral is your winner in 40 minutes and 39 seconds. Yeah, so that played out about how I expected it to. I mean, income for both players was bad. And Serral was down to exactly 419 minerals and no gas per minute. Had the advantage, though, on this income advantage tab. And DNS, again, partially intentionally and partially unintentionally losing all of his probes in that game. But yeah, Serral never had an income advantage consistently throughout that game. He never had an 8th base, really, for any length of time. And when he did, DNS had the base on the other side. But when you can do this, you can kill 76,000 resources worth of Protoss and only lose 53 yourself. That's a better place. You can do it that way. That's exactly what happened. So, I mean, 23 Corruptors died, but there were still 35 at the end of the game. 32 carriers died, which is so many carriers, 4 motherships, 7 Nexuses, and 8 hatcheries. I mean, it was a bloodbath. DNS came in here with a game plan. Serral knew what it was, and Serral executed his own counter game plan pretty perfectly, I would say. So, great job by Serral. Good attempt by DNS. Like, I'm not going to complain about that. DNS did what he could. And what he could was that. Anyway, that was fun. Again, 40-minute Skytoss game on Ice and Chrome. We're never going to get that again. Ice and Chrome is gone. It is removed from the map pool for reasons I don't approve. I think, well, somebody told me Zerg had a too high of a win rate on this map, which, okay, I get that, but still, long macro games are great. I encourage maps that give us more of this. Bring back 4-player maps just for the long macro games. They're my favorite kind. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say here for analysis that I haven't already said. So let's wrap this sucker up. So that right there is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a gosh darn 40-minute PvZ. 40 minutes and 39 seconds on Ice and Chrome. All right. Well, that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void game. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.